kind of fantastic. All right, so just starting out, last year you have a winning record to end the year, first time in a while.
First time ever.
However, okay, so then kind of coming off of that, sort of, what's the feeling heading into this?
Pretty. I think we're excited. We got a lot back from last year's team. We really we graduated two seniors, a setter and a libero, which I think we have some incoming players that can fill those roles. A lot of our hitting and a lot of our blocking's back. We need to improve on some defensive places and some serve receive, but I'm really excited with the work our seniors and our juniors have been doing in the off season. Been hitting the weight room really hard this summer, and I think the girls are gaining some confidence, understanding that'll help them in athletics too.
And you mentioned that the hitters coming back too, but first I want to go to you lose the libero and you lose your setter as well. Kind of, what's the challenge at replacing those two?
Our libero was the first team all-conference player Cardinals ever had in volleyball, so she's a big piece to fill. But we got a little junior girl that's played some club with us for the last couple of years, and I think she'll fill that role good to start with. And having some seniors on both sides of her playing defense that have been around for a number of years will help her a little bit in that aspect too. And then the senior, we got a little junior girl that played a lot last year with us for us last year as a sophomore that'll step in and take the role of that senior that actually she was a 4-year starter for us as a setter. So she'll be a tough one to fill. But like I said, I think both of those juniors stepping in will really be able to help out and take those roles.
Who are those two players that you think will take those roles?
Carly Campbell is going to be a setter for us, and then Autumn Deschler is going to be our libero. And they'll complement our hitting core very well with what we got coming back for hitting.
Okay, and then with that hitting core, Jesse, Cassidy, and Dakota all back.
Yes.
For you leading the team last season.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, how much confidence that gives you knowing that those three players have been there last year and they can only improve?
Yeah. The one thing we got to do is we got to cut down on our unforced errors. There was times last year where we were our own worst enemy. We hit a lot of balls out, and you want to put every ball on the floor, but you've also got to make sure that every ball make the defense play it. Kind of like take a big breath and go back and play defense and make them do it. So that's really what we've been stressed for is just cut down on our mistakes. Don't beat us. If the team's good enough to beat us, we can live with that. But let's not be our own demise.
And then with that too, you mentioned that. Is that kind of the key area you want to improve on from last season?
Yes.
What would be another area?
Our serve receive. We've got to quit giving up too many easy points off of serve. We've got to get the ball in the air to give our setters a chance to get it to our hitters who then can do some damage. And we're going to work a lot on that in camp. And we did it all last winter in club, and we've already been to one team camp this year working on that stuff.
And then with those three hitters that you do have coming back, you kind of expect them to lead the team as the senior leaders?
Yeah. Dakota and Shelby are not only pretty good, Dakota and Shelby are good blockers too, and they set up a nice block there. Dakota and then Shelby and Cassie are both very good on the offensive end. And like I said, I have a lot of confidence that with our maturity, another year older, I think we can do some good things this year. We're looking to not take a step back at least.
Now, would you say kind of coming off of the best year in Cardinals history, would you say that this is kind of maybe the most optimistic heading into a season the team?
Yeah, because sometimes you automatically expect to be better, but everybody else is better too. And teams, good volleyball teams, don't ever have to rebuild; they just reload. So and our conference has some pretty good volleyball schools in it. You look at, Holy Trinity and New London and Central Lee and Mediapolis and teams of that sort. They're good every year, so they're not going to have an off year. They may be down a little bit, but they still put quality products out there. So there's not going to be any easy victories. We got to come up every night, show up every night, ready to play with the best we can.
And then I guess with that mindset too, knowing that you had a successful season, thinking that maybe it's even more, expected to be able to kind of hang with some of those top teams.
Mm-hmm. I think just like I said, with our maturity in the years, we play a lot of club in the winter, which instead of just playing one season in the fall and then you take off till the next fall, we've done a lot in the off seasons. This senior group has done a lot in 4 years where they played a lot outside the season, and that's just like playing more years. And I think it's now their time to, if it's going to happen, this will be the year where they can show that all that work is paying off. The one thing is we're one of the smaller 2As. So when it comes down time for tournaments and stuff, we know there are going to be some really tough teams out there that we've got to compete against, even to have a chance to try to get to where, you know, the ultimate goal is always a state tournament. But really for us first is still making the Saturday finals in the evenings. We're again the only school out of 20 in our conference that's never been to the Saturday finals, and hopefully this year we won the consolation last year, the second tier, and this year one of our goals we already talked about was getting to that Saturday night level. If we can get there, then we've made a step up too.
Okay. All right.